You know how people love to say, just use a smartwatch for hiking? And we get it. Smartwatches track everything. They give us maps, elevation, waypoints, all that stuff. But there's still a totally different kind of confidence we get from wearing a mechanical watch when we're heading into the mountains. There's no battery to worry about, no random software update, no lag, no weird glitch when we're halfway up a ridge in terrible weather. It's just a simple machine on our wrist doing its job. And honestly, when we look at watches that have real roots in exploration, actual field use, not just marketing, Rolex Explorers still sit in a different category. These things were born on climbs and expeditions long before the idea of outdoor tech even existed. So today, we're breaking down the best Rolex Explorer models for hiking in 2025. We're going to rank them based on real-world trail performance, not hype or resale value. Before we jump into rankings, we should set the stage. The Explorer name didn't come from a brand trying to sound adventurous. It came from Rolex sticking watches on the wrists of climbers, tackling brutal Himalayan routes in the 1950s. These early pieces dealt with freezing temperatures, huge pressure changes, long days, and the kind of impacts that would make most watches today tap out instantly. They survived because they were built with toughness as the priority. And sure, Rolex is a luxury brand now, we're not pretending otherwise. But what's cool is that the Explorer line somehow kept its original purpose alive. No unnecessary complications, no flashy design detours, just clarity, durability, and simplicity. That's why even today, these watches still make sense for hiking. They don't require constant tweaks, and they don't get in the way when we're focused on the trail.
All right, now that we've got the background out of the way, let's get into the ranking. All four watches we're talking about are genuinely capable, but when we start factoring in visibility, comfort, durability, and usefulness on the trail, the order becomes pretty clear.
Coming in at number 4, we've got the Explorer 2 Polar 16570. A lot of us have a soft spot for this one because it's got that classic late 1950s and early 2000s look that Rolex doesn't really make anymore. The watch is light, the 40mm case feels great on pretty much any wrist, and the white dial is incredibly easy to read, especially in direct sunlight. When we're out hiking and the light is bouncing off rocks or snow, that bright dial actually helps more than people expect. The fixed 24-hour hand is nice too, especially if we're doing trips far north or far south where the sun either refuses to rise or refuses to set. It gives us a quick sense of orientation without needing to think too hard, which can be surprisingly useful when we're tired. But as much as we love this watch, the 16570 is starting to feel its age. The lume is good for its era, but it doesn't hold a candle to modern chromolite. After a few hours in the dark, especially in a tent or under tree cover, it fades faster than we'd like. The bracelet, while totally fine, doesn't have the same smoothness or adjustability that Rolex eventually perfected. And the movement, while reliable, doesn't offer the same level of shock resistance or power reserve that the newer calibers do. If we're hiking casually or doing day trips, the 16570 is awesome. But if we're really pushing distances or going into harsher environments, the newer Explorers offer enough upgrades that they're worth the bump.
In the number 3 spot, we've got the modern Explorer 2 Polar 226570. And in a lot of ways, this watch solves almost every trail-related issue the 16570 has. The chromolite lume is significantly brighter and lasts a lot longer. When we're hiking early in the morning or setting up camp after sunset, the dial is incredibly easy to read. Rolex also improved the bracelet and clasp, and the comfort extension is genuinely useful when our wrist swells from heat or activity. We can adjust it on the fly, which feels small but makes a real difference throughout a long day.
The upgraded movement is also a big part of why this watch works so well outdoors.
It's more shock resistant, it's more efficient, and it holds accuracy better when we're dealing with impact and vibration. The watch feels solid, almost like it's built from a single block of steel, and that gives us a ton of confidence on rough terrain. But the trade-off here is the size. At 42mm, the 226570 has presence. Some of us love that. Big dial, big numerals, big hands, everything super clear at a quick glance. But others find that on long hikes, especially if we're wearing jackets, gloves, trekking poles, or straps, the watch feels a little more noticeable than we prefer. It's not uncomfortable, it's just a constant presence. And part of what makes the Explorer line so good for hiking is the idea that the watch should sort of disappear on the wrist. The Explorer 2 is extremely capable. If we want maximum legibility and the bonus of a second time zone, it's a fantastic hiking companion. It just doesn't quite hit that effortless wearing experience that the top 2 models really nail.
In the number 2 spot, the Explorer 40 might be the cleanest interpretation of what an outdoor tool watch should be. Rolex took everything people loved about the Explorer 39 and the classic 36. and they balanced it in a way that feels modern without losing the essence of the Explorer line. The 40mm size hits that perfect middle ground, big enough to read instantly, but slim and low profile enough that it never snags on anything. When we're hiking, simplicity is a luxury, and this watch gives us that. No extra text, no extra hands, nothing cluttered, just the time with big lume-filled numerals and a dial layout designed for visibility from any angle. The Chromolite lume on the 40 is excellent. It charges quickly in daylight, and on the trail at night, it glows evenly and lasts long enough that we're not constantly checking it or worrying about it fading. The comfort here is a huge part of why this watch ranks so high. The bracelet articulation is smooth, the finishing feels soft against the wrist, and the clasp gives us just enough adjustability without overcomplicating anything. We can wear this thing for hours, sweating, adjusting packs, climbing, and forget it's even there. And that's kind of the whole point. The only reason the Explorer 40 isn't number one is the lack of a secondary time zone function. For some hikers, that doesn't matter at all. For others, especially those who travel or do multi-day hikes across different regions, it's a surprisingly useful tool. If Rolex ever made a dual-time Explorer in this case size, it would probably dominate every list like this.
And in the number one spot, we've got the Explorer 2 14270 Mark II. This is the one that just balances everything in the exact way we want for hiking. The 39mm case size is basically perfect. More dial space than the 36mm models, but still discreet and compact on the wrist. It has that just right feeling that's tough to explain until we actually wear it on a hike. Rolex fixed the proportions in the MK2 version, so we get full-size hands and fully loomed numerals at 3, 6, and 9. That alone transforms how usable this watch is outdoors. When we're waking up early, inside a tent, or checking the time during a late descent, the lume glows clearly and evenly. There's no ambiguity, no half-lit numerals, nothing distracting. It just works. The movement is another reason this one takes the top spot. The 3132 has Paraflex shock protection, so it handles impacts and vibration like a champ. Whether we're scrambling, climbing, or just knocking it against rocks or gear, it stays stable. The power reserve is solid, the accuracy is dependable, and the whole movement has that unbothered feel that inspires confidence. Mark II ranks first because of its wearing experience. On the trail, we want a watch that gives us everything we need and nothing we don't. We want comfort, clarity, and reliability. And this watch disappears in the best way. We forget it's even there until we need it. And then it delivers instantly. It's simple, rugged, modern, and incredibly trustworthy. If we had to pick one Explorer to hike with for the next decade, this is the one.
So that's our 2025 Explorer hiking ranking. All four of these watches are absolutely capable, but they each bring something a little different to the trail. Now we want to hear from you. If you were heading out for a long hike tomorrow, which one would you actually strap on your wrist? Are you leaning toward the clean simplicity of the Explorer 40, the extra utility of the Explorer 2,
or the balanced feel of the 14270?
Let us know down in the comments. And if you want more deep dives like this, check out our video on the best Rolex submariners. There's a lot of crossover between what works underwater and what survives in the mountains. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you in the next one.